Hello, I'm Richard Bach, and I'm just going to assume in this video that you've watched some of the other videos. I'm going to talk about a few more advanced things, and so this is all part of a description of the foundation of the breath work that I have been guiding for many years, quantum light breath. And I would like to talk about emotions and sound. They play a very crucial role in the experience of waking up, in the experience of coming to full aliveness. And I like to talk about it in a way where when someone has a strong emotional response during breath work, which happens a lot, how I facilitate their movement through the emotions so they don't get stuck with old patterns. The stuckness happens when a strong emotion arises and a story goes on in the mind about that emotion. Let's say your father died when you were a little boy. You were not allowed to feel your feelings because the adults around you couldn't really deal with an emotional kid. You were taught, be a man, stand up and whatever. But you shoved your feelings down. Now in a quantum light breath, all of a sudden a grief comes up. A grief that is associated or connected to the fact that you have never really grieved your father's death. Well, it's not too late to grieve it. Your grief is coming up when it is coming up. So I'm just using it as an example. And my suggestion at a time like this, when a strong emotion comes up, and I'm just going to stay with grief because I picked that one up now, is that how does grief manifest itself? Like, where do you feel the grief? Yes, your father died. As a little boy, that must have been terrible. Maybe a contraction in the chest, maybe a pain, maybe a tingling, maybe it could be a heat, or it could be very cold. There's so many different ways emotions can show up. And my experience has shown that the most effective way to be with emotions is to notice them as sensations, to notice what the actual manifestation of the sensations in the body are. Every emotion has a location. If you feel sadness and you just close your eyes and allow the mind to do its thing, whatever the sadness is about, and not pay attention to that, and just pay attention to where the sadness lives. Oh, I'm feeling it in my chest. Or some people might be feeling it in their solar plexus or in their belly. Whatever it is, that you attend to the actual sensations and the location of where those sensations are. And in that moment, you are actually present with the feeling. If you're simply going in the story, there is just a looping and the sadness just reinforces itself. One of the things that happens when an emotion comes up, a sound will usually be there. Sadness has a location, has sensations, and oftentimes it can also have a sound. Grief can have sounds. Anger can have sounds. Every emotion has sounds. And if you allow yourself, when you do breath work, if you allow yourselves to make sounds, if you're in a space where it's okay to be even loud, where something big could just move through, or something loud could move through, it's actually essential to have a space like that. Then you don't hold back. Then things that have been very deep-seated, they can come to the surface, and within moments they can resolve themselves. I've seen people with the deepest grief that they have held on to for their whole life resolve that in just 1 or 2 breath sessions, sometimes in just a few moments, just because they recognize that something was held back. And all of a sudden I'm able to feel my grief, I feel my sadness, I feel my longing, I feel my heartbreak fully, and cry about it or laugh about it or whatever it is, and open to what aliveness is here. And very quickly, often, it turns into an ecstasy. A deep belly sobbing can turn into a big, deep belly laughter. Just like that. When the sobbing is complete, because you have allowed it, it can transform. So this transformation is not really a goal. But it is what naturally happens when everything is allowed. When you give yourself permission and you allow yourself to make sounds in the exhale, you allow yourself to feel the feelings all the way as physical manifestations, and keep it that simple. So this is my encouragement when you practice breathwork, to keep coming back to the physical manifestation of what is in your body, as your emotions, and to notice that there is stories along with that, but the stories are of secondary importance. If the stories keep coming back, you can attend to them. But for now, just stay with what's here. Notice there is hands and feet. Notice there is arms and legs. You're sitting here. You're breathing. Actually, everything is okay. You have everything you need to survive this moment, and you can relax and inhale and let go. And inhale and let go. And experience yourself from the inside out. Feel into the world and allow the world in. Thank you.